All right, we're back. 1 second, guys. We have a bit of a. Okay, yeah. Now we got the replay going. Okay, we're good. We had to restart the game because the replay thing wasn't working. So, anyways, we're doing it live. Okay. So how are you doing, Oswald? Did you go run around the block and stuff? Get your veins pumping? You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just did a quick 5 mile jog during that 3-minute break. And of course, we all know that I grabbed some Snyder's of Hanover pretzels. I grabbed a nice
Did you
bag
go over
of that.
to that mattress place also? Get
Oh, I sure did, and I bought myself one of those
So
with
you
the
carried
promo
it
code
back with you,
Awesomenauts
right?
Dojo.
On your
I
run.
carried it back. I jogged back 5 miles with it while eating some Snyder's, and yeah, I'm back. And then of course I had plenty of time to relax. I took a nap too. It was a great break.
All right. Well, anyways, I think FrogZone, are we ready with the right draft? All right, we're just gonna stall until he's ready and everything's good. So, anyways, we've had some pretty crazy matches so far. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I definitely think it's kind of funny to see these games where you can definitely tell the skill levels are close to each other, but then there are these instances where just the draft matters so much. And then there are probably some instances where the draft went a certain way, but then the skill level was more apparent. That was probably especially the case in some of the earlier rounds, like perhaps in the quarterfinals, for instance. But yeah, I think it's definitely been interesting. I think there's definitely seems to be a bit of a preference for the map of Gillian. I think we always see that in like later rounds because it's so team fight centric. I feel like that's one of the more fun maps for the high level teams to play because that's where your team fight, your team works, and your mechanics, like they all really shine on that map.
Definitely. Very, very exciting. And now we're over on the other side of the bracket. We got Tinderfingers Fan Club, which is another team that we haven't really heard much about. We already saw them play before in the quarterfinals, but now they're in the semifinals. And we got for them, they actually have 4 members on their team. We got Amber, who's no stranger to competitive play. We also got Lots, which I'm actually not sure about his experience. I think he's played before, I think with Toilet Humor way back when. And then we got Leader, of course. He's been around the scene for so long. So anyways, without further ado, you want to head back into the drafts and get that kicked off.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the draft pulled up here. You can kind of see, as I said, the map is a Gillian again. I think this is kind of a fan favorite, I feel, in terms of team fight ability. And it usually kind of shows up in the games themselves because usually the drafts even go towards that team fight centric kind of comps rather than the pushing. The first thing I noticed, I guess I'll go through the bans before the picks, but you see Mean Me Machine banned Penny first. That seems to be a pretty common ban, at least first or second. Just a lot of versatility with Penny. She fits in a lot of different teams.
Maybe they got scarred by my Penny that first game, and so they're so
it was certainly not that. So we know it's not that. And then they banned Ted as well. On the other side, Tinderfingers Fan Club, they banned Jimmy and Genji. I don't know if we've seen a Jimmy ban before, but Jimmy is another one of those where we've seen his use both just in terms of displacement, in terms of his just pure tankiness. We've definitely seen him be very effective in this game, so seeing that come out as a ban is not much of a surprise,
especially if they know Big Bob and they know that he plays Jimmy like all the time.
That might have been like a pure respect ban, just knowing what Jimmy Bob plays or Jimmy Bob when I say that Big Bob says plays and banning accordingly. And then they banned the Genji as well. The first thing I think of when it comes to the picks is we got a Derple on a map that's not Ribbit. I don't see that every day.
Oof. Very unorthodox. Very unorthodox.
That's definitely something new for me. So I'm interested to see. I mean, obviously, you can still have your uses when it comes to putting some traps, positioning yourselves tactically along the 2 jump pads to try and restrict mobility. But that's definitely an interesting choice. And then after that, they've got pure burst with the Froggy and the Vinny combo. The one of the most devastating things about Vinny and Frog, and the reason why they're picked and banned so much, is because it's not just pure burst damage, but it's also their CC along with it. When Vinny initiates, he has a silence with his dash, so you can't immediately punish him for it.
Which is kind of new addition too, because it used to be on Cloud. You used to have to dive in, and then
Right.
instantly Cloud for the silence and all that. So he also has debuff immunity with Cloud. So he's a very good, and
Right.
plus invis. He's the only character that can make his teammates invis, and
Right,
that's
which is
strong.
very powerful,
Yeah, very very
especially
strong.
on this team fight centric map. I mean, that's just the CC on Vinny's side. Obviously, Froggy can be a great initiator too, because not only does he have a lot of burst damage with his with his dash and tornado, but he stuns you, and that like split second of stun is like all some good teams need to be able to just rip you to shreds, especially if you've got a Vinny following up. And then on the other side, Meme Machine, they are not as heavy on the pure burst. They're much more. That's
DPS
just a
kind of, or
yeah, I guess DPS would
CC,
be the
heavy
way to put
CC
it.
with the sentry and the Scoldier with the stun and the snare.
Right. It's very much about displacement. I know that when I play Scoldier, because I play Scoldier a lot, if I see a Derple, I'm not necessarily afraid, but I'm just annoyed because I know that like
That
that's
siege
just
mode.
that siege mode is so annoying for you. You're
You
not throwing them
can't
out of
throw
siege
the
mode.
siege,
Can't do that. And
unfortunately.
when you're a brawler that requires so much, just getting in their face to initiate those traps are just a killer. So I'm interested to see what they're kind of going with here, because it seems like weirdly enough, Derple is like seems like a good pick like against that team. Like I'm not sure the order, but it's kind of funny to see Derple, and I'm like, you know what, I'm on board with the Derple pick here. And you know,
Likewise, likewise.
with the shielding, maybe I don't know. We'll see if they have enough damage. It's more DPS damage than just pure burst on Meme Machine's part. So I'm interested in seeing how it turns out.
Yeah, well, only one way to find out, and that's to get this match
Mm-hmm.
going. So let's head on over to the match. We got the 25-second mark locked down here,
Mm-hmm.
and you ready with that, man?
Let's do it.
All right, and in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Here we go. All right, so we got the focus on the red team here. We got Tinder Fingers Fan Club. Gosh, that's what a name that is. I'm just gonna say fan club, just fan club.
And I
All
love
right,
how
so
the tags before their names too, they recognize it's a long name, and so each of them has a different part of the name in there. It's great. It's not
Very
like
true.
all of them just have an acronym. It's great. Looks like Froggy's gonna be the first one to get the invis. That's a pretty good one to get the invis. They're gonna maybe try something. It looks like they're being pretty conservative with their positioning. The blue team in this case, so that's not too much of a surprise.
very true.
And
Yeah,
that
so
aggressive
already
siege
we have
position.
lots of poke and lots of pushing coming out from the red team. They're trying to just tap the turret as much as they can, and yeah, it's quite a match so far.
Just to kind of look at when we were talking about that CC, it's not too much of a surprise that that was the first thing bought by the Vinny in this case. He got silenced right off the bat. Looks like Sentry's in a bit of an awkward position, but he's actually going to be able to get out just fine. So that silence is definitely going to be a big problem, especially against these kind of both Scoldier and Sentry. They try to like punish you after you go in with a black hole or with a throw, and that silence kind of prevents that from happening. So we see a lot of kind of going back and forth, trying to get some good clear. One of the wait, actually, I didn't see who got the invis there.
I'm just gonna throw over the casting to you. By the way, we got a little bit of technical difficulties with the music playing right now, but just yeah, solo cast for a little bit.
Solo cast, easy. All right, let's do it. Just like pretend like this is solo queuing, which always goes well in Awesomenauts, right, guys? But you see, yeah, really aggressive positioning here. That's kind of the way to play Derp on this map. Take advantage of the fact that that you're kind of immune to certain kinds of CC while you're in that siege mode, which of course CC is what a lot of the Meme Machine is counting on right now. And that aggressive positioning kind of makes it so that it's really hard and awkward for Meme Machine to kind of get anywhere, because these snare traps are everywhere. And this is a team, Tinderfinger's team is one that will punish you if you're caught out. You'll see, oh, it looks like Derple almost got punished for being out, but not quite. He's going to get away with just enough to survive, and they're going to clear, and it's going to be just fine. But it looks like this is the chance for Meme Machine to actually take some forward positioning for once. Froggy's going to get that invis. That's going to be pretty important. He gets hit with a random ball, though.
All right, I'm back.
And
apologies if anybody heard some loud music for a second. We just want to make sure the stream is top quality. Anyways, back to the match. We got Big Bob here with throwing those punches left and right.
Right, we got a nice little nifty moment where Froggy almost died while he was invisible, like from full health to like 20 health. It was pretty amusing. But yeah, you'll just see kind of the splitsy nuts going on. I think Leader's trying to bait out a little bit of a black hole, and only now did he just take the bait, and he's gonna just kind of walk out of that just fine.
Yeah, I know Leader as a player, his playstyle. Oh, they got a nice kill on Lots there with the Vinny. Vinny is a very squishy knot, and he doesn't have invulnerability like Froggy G, so I can imagine he would be the most easily picked off. Anyways, so back to the match here. We got oh, what a nice kill from Amber there. And you can see Durple is one of the only knots that can go through the jump pads like that, like with ease. Very, very advantageous.
Yeah. Yeah, which
or
obviously
sorry, Amber's a girl.
Amber, which means that it means it's even more advantageous for their positioning throughout this map, which makes it awkward for Mean Machine to actually switch lanes. Both teams deserve some credit for those last couple kills too, because as much as we talked about maybe potentially a lack of damage on Mean Machine's part, they converged really well. It just took like a second of hesitation from the Vinny and a good ball from the Coco to converge and instantly get that kill, which was really well performed, but of course they came right back. Right now it's only one kill on each side, despite some good engagements going in both directions. Both of these teams are definitely playing very carefully, with just a little bit of chip advantage going in favor of Tinderfingers just because of their forward position.
Very much so. Oh, wow, big nuke on the Sentry. I don't know if he actually got that charge or not. Did you see that?
I did not see it. If he did, it was so much damage it hit the maximum damage mark for shielding, and it instantly stopped. And yeah, it looks like he's got a really big fat charge, so we'll see if they try to engage off of this.
Oh, almost picks off Big Bob. They're actually, oh wow, they got I guess not too big of a black hole because it didn't do much damage, but they are going to be able to pick off Helix. Very nice kill off of Leader. His playstyle is very much just like in your face kind of Frog. I've noticed he likes to just be able to dash out at anything that he can give. Oh, huge punish there by Amber, putting that dermal work in with that jump pad tech. Man, that's like probably one of the most advanced techs you can do with Durple
here. There you go. I mean, this is where it becomes really awkward to play a Scoldier against that kind of map control, because you don't really have much of a choice as Scoldier. You can't really do much. Like, if you're not getting in their face and trying to be aggressive, you're not really doing anything. You're just hitting them with maybe some chip DOT damage. And if you get range punch, obviously we were definitely going to see range punch coming out. That was the latest upgrade out of Big Bob. That's kind of their only hope. It looks like he's going to get caught in the snare, but nothing's going to come of that. The rest of Mean Machine is there to kind of follow up. But yeah, it's an awkward game of Scoldier, so it's really going to take a lot of team coordination. Ooh, Big Bob almost died to the dash there. Looks like it's not going to be quite. There's no damage on Vinny's dash yet. He just went for the silence and the Solar Crab Burgers. Speaking of which, I believe there's been some requests in the chat to put the builds up. Oh, you've already done it.
Yeah, they've been up for a while. But thank you for your contribution, viewers. Always appreciated.
Ooh, good execution there from Tinderfingers. That'll be a nice. They should be able to get some nice pushing off that.
Leader fingers.
Leader fingers.
Leader fingers. It's fingers. Fingers is the tag. Leader is the.
Kind of I know. I meant like in general the team.
Oh, Tinderfingers. Okay, yeah. I'm thinking about the old school streamer dude.
I know.
Shout out to my man. He doesn't play anymore, but
which is the inspiration, of course, for for this name. Yeah, this boy, these tags are really messing me up here as far as the calls. But yeah, no, it's interesting to kind of see. There's the first bit of damage actually coming out on dash on Vinny, so there's going to be a lot more damage coming their way. Nice snare. Am I going crazy, or did that nuke not dedicate?
Exactly. So what we have so far is a lot of push coming back from red team, and like we saw the last team, that one team versus Serious Decisions, this red team is just pressuring the heck out of their turrets and just clearing all the lanes. Like, they're doing so much DPS, and blue team isn't really able to punish them. Not with throw, not with
that
black
throw
hole.
might have been able to punish the
yeah, I'm actually surprised that didn't hit. Actually, it seemed like it just like phantom hit or something. I don't know.
It looks like they're gonna punish the Sentry. That feels bad. Right when Amber was very low, they could have had a definite punish on the Frog because his dash was out, and he was already half health. He would have been thrown right into the turret, and that likely would have been a kill. Yeah, that's just too bad. You can definitely see Big Bob's being a little countered here on Scoldier.
Definitely so. I guess that Jimmy ban did kind of a lot more hurt than they expected, because he's able to then only play Scoldier. I don't know if he plays other characters or not, but maybe Scoldier he is just his personal favorite. But definitely, I wouldn't pick Scoldier against their team with a Durple and a Frog and everything. All these things that can like kind of just leave him with just punches.
Right, and because there's that was a. Oh man, Amber took a risk by sieging up there. She was very, very lit, but it turns out it's gonna be a risk that pays off. They will get the pick, and now Mean Machine is one down. It is kind of interesting to see how healthy that bottom turret is, though. Like the top second turret is more damage than the first bottom turret.
I think usually, you know, on different maps, you get certain turrets much easier naturally to take out. Like on Serona, you have the top turret that always, or no, the bottom turret that always goes down before the top turret. It might be the same on this map just because of the general strategy of the game and how players tend to be on the top lane more frequently.
Right, yeah, and I think it's definitely probably it might be also a factor of just they're able to switch to the bottom lane easier than the other way around, because they are trying to have to play around these snare traps in this position, of course. There's a situation where Big Bob did get caught in one. Obviously, there are BKM picks coming out on the Scoldier. That's about the only chance Scoldier might have is if he can just get out of the trap earlier than anticipated. So just kind of some footsie nuts going on right now. Mean Machine is kind of just waiting for a mistake right now. There is a dash coming out from Leader, but Frog is fast even without the dash, so they're going to be okay. Yeah, just a lot of back and forth right now.
I just want to talk about the items bought for a second now. It's really interesting that Leader actually got double cooldown, but then he also got that other cooldown, the second clock's upgrade, which I don't really see picked very often. Maybe he thought it was the old cooldown upgrade and it changed to heal over time.
Right, and now it's the heal over time. That's interesting. Maybe he thought it would be a nice counter because, again, it's not a bursty team. Oh, another great... Amber's doing a fantastic job for what's traditionally considered a non-meta character. Like, this pick is definitely working out in their favor.
Apparently, someone told me she only plays Durple, which is really, really interesting, actually.
Did we... Oh, you know what? Was that the game earlier that we casted with them on Ribbit, and it was a Durple on Ribbit?
I believe so, yeah.
That might have been it. In that case, it's very interesting to see how well it's working out.
I guess nobody really knows that she plays only Durple, otherwise they would have banned the character, but... Who knows?
I would think if they knew that, they definitely would have banned it on
especially
Ribbit.
on Ribbit, yeah. Because you either want to
maybe here
ban
you think
Pet
you
or Durple on Ribbit, but
right,
because they're especially good on that vertical kind of map. But.
Right. Yeah, I think we're kind of seeing a situation where there's just not there's both not enough damage and kind of not enough initiation, because obviously Scoldier can be a great initiator, but against this Durple and the zoning that they're able to pull off, it's just not doing it for them, especially also with the silence as well. Hammer's very lit, but it's going to get away. Looks like they're going to try and get something on the Coco, and the dive comes out. Now Big Bob is also lit, but he has heal punch. Oh, and a lot of teams coming out.
Oh, that heal over time coming in clutch for Leader there.
That's where it comes in handy. I think that I don't know if it was. Oh my gosh, and another great.
Lots is doing a great job clearing up here, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. It's always terrifying.
Sick,
it's totally terrifying when you're playing and like you're anywhere below half health, and then you just see a Vinny anywhere on your screen.
Oh
it's
yeah,
just, like instant fear.
Especially if they're on point with landing those dives, like it brings that extra fear, because if you have a player that doesn't normally play Vinny, it's very like maybe 50-50. Maybe I can dodge him, but if it's a player like Lots, I'd be like, oh, he's definitely gonna be hitting these every time.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, this is just kind of an interesting dynamic to see, because I guess maybe it's just I'm actually starting to like the more I've watched the heal over time pick. Like I'm starting to really like it. I'm also very confused as to why there's not a Snarequake out already, because Snarequake is definitely one of the best counters to a Frog if you're playing.
I guess he didn't buy that yet, did he? Yeah, he bought heal over time in range, which is really interesting. I guess he's just trying to poke them out as much as they can.
Yeah, I understand. I honestly can understand both of those picks. It's just I don't know if I would take them before the snare fight. Oh, and it looks like Helix is not in a great position, and they are at the base and
knocking at their door. I think this might be it, actually. 13 minutes in only, and they don't have anything to show for this. They barely touched
Durple has got insane structure damage. This might be. They got to get back soon, and it might not be enough. Coco definitely by herself can't do it. Skoldier can't
yeah,
really
with
do
those
it.
that rapid fire, the auto attacks, it looks like this is it, and that's the
They
end of the
couldn't even
match.
touch Amber there.
Uh,
That's
crazy,
whew.
really crazy.
I'm kind of happy to see like a bit of an off meta pick there do so well. I mean,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. I mean, I definitely think that with like a snare quake that would have maybe punched the frog a little bit more. That's one of Frog's like bigger counters if you're playing against a Skoldier. Maybe even just building all into like even if you wanted to do like a range earthquake earlier than usual, just to try, because they're so zoned out. The best they could do is try and like cheese something out like that, maybe get a ball towards their turret. The initiations just weren't happening, and that was kind of the only hope for them, was they could try and do some initiations. But with the CC, the stuns, the snares, and the silence, it was kind of a recipe for disaster for Mean Machine.
Indeed. I just want to point out, apparently Amber does not only play Durple. But I mean, she's quite upset. She actually threatened to sue us.
Oh wow!
I don't know if that's an empty threat or not, but let's just throw that out there. That okay,
she also
plays Nah, so she told me. So she's not a one trick. Okay, not a one trick.
Okay.
So for time constraints, we're actually not gonna do the kill cam. But thank you guys for the suggestions. We're just gonna jump right into the break here. But what a crazy semifinals, man.
No, that was there were some really interesting picks, some great like play styles we've been seeing from. It's kind of nice. I like the style of I guess draft that we have going on, because you see like a lot of mixed match of characters. It doesn't feel like, especially when we got rid of Commander and Smiles and Ix, just kind of a tournament-wide ban. I think that was good for kind of spurring at least a little bit more creativity in these teams, because we're seeing all these different kind of combos. So that instead of just a ban on Commander and on Rocket and Smiles every time, you're actually seeing they have to think about what the other teams like. You're actually banning a Jimmy for the respect ban, or there was a ban on a Clunk, which is not something that you would think by itself, but then you're like, oh, they're playing against Roach Cake. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of interesting to see this kind of this kind of variety of play styles that we're seeing,
especially if like the competitive scene is so like kind of a low in number, and so everybody knows who everybody plays. You know, Roach Cake, oh, he plays Swiggins and Clunk, you know, and of course he was on my team, so every time somebody banned Clunk, I'm like, shoot, they know him, you know. So it's very different in this community, how like for instance, Leader plays like Coco all the time, and then he also plays Frog. I'm like, oh dude, I don't want to have to deal with that, I'm just gonna ban that,
right,
you know, and stuff like that. And so yeah, but again, I just want to remind the viewers that due to time constraints, we're actually not going to show the full set of the semifinals. We're just going to move right into the finals. So we can talk a bit about the outcome of the semifinals leading into the break here. But basically what happened was, as you can tell by the two matches that we streamed, it was a complete landslide. I'm not going to be all esportsy and be like, oh, both teams were really close. No, it wasn't that way at all.
That's really toxic. I'm going to report everyone, please.
Everybody
report
me,
ban
please.
Him from the Twitch channel.
Yeah, please.
His own Twitch channel, please. This is toxicity. But
anyways,
to only give some credit to the losing team. Obviously, they made it this far, and that means they're very good teams. Also, just the fact that I think they kind of executed about as well as you could. I think both of these kind of came down to the draft. I think they just kind of got out drafted, and even in this case where there's a Durple picked on the other team, I know I just like it when an off meta pick works out this thoroughly, which is kind of what just happened. So
very much so. So without further ado, we're gonna go into the grand finals, and I just want to thank you, Oswald, for casting. We're gonna now hand it over to Uberancy, Pirate Cheese, and me. I'm only going to throw in a couple of comments here and there, but we're going to do the triple caster thing again. Oswald, thank you so much. Do you want to throw in any like self-promotion, any like Snyder's deals?
Oh, absolutely. So first off, my presence in the stream was brought to you by Snyder's of Hanover Pretzels. If you go to snydersofhanover.com and you enter the promo code Oswald, you will receive 100% off your next Snyder's of Hanover purchase. That's right. You'll get a free bag of pretzels. Just go there right now. Also, everybody, follow me at twitch.tv/OswaldTheLucky. Smash that follow button. It really helps me out. We just out here doing life, if you know what I mean. #
Are we going to see more Awesomenauts streams from you, Oswald? Perhaps?
Oh, I wouldn't want to spoil it, but yeah, probably, because I don't have a life. Anyway, thanks everybody. I'm even gonna be really really, really plug in. I'm gonna like put in the Twitter and the Discord
Oh
links
yeah,
too.
please
But
do.
all the plugs. But thanks for having me on the stream,
Of course, of
Mr.
course.
Fawx. It's very excited to be part of this tournament, and I'm excited to now shut up for a bit and then watch other people cast a fantastic finals game.
All right, so without further ado, we're going to go into the break. Everybody, get your popcorn, go to the bathroom, get some water, because we're in for an intense finals. All
And some
right.
Snyders.
And some Snyders. Get some Snyders, please. All right. Without further ado, the break. Goodbye.